Welcome to the 20-Minute Manager Good to Great in Ag Labor Management webinar series. In only 4 minutes, in this video summary of the webinar, we'll discuss some strategies for hiring and orienting new staff. And I'm your host, Liz Higgins with Cornell Cooperative Extension Eastern New York Commercial Hort Program. It's time to hire some workers. Recent studies have found that interviews often don't lead to selecting the best candidate for a job. Why is this? In his book, Thinking Fast and Slow, the Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman describes the tendency of people to rely on gist, the use of shortcuts and assumptions which are prone to errors in decision-making. This happens frequently in job interviews where we form a first impression of a candidate. Subsequent information is used to confirm our impression. This is known as confirmation bias. The candidate making a great first impression might not really be the best person for the job. How can you combat this? First step is to identify the key attributes that you're looking for in the job before you interview. Then come up with a scoring rubric based on those attributes. Ask everyone the same questions related to the scoring. The intent is not to have a candidate with a perfect score, but to slow your mental process of decision-making down and tie it to facts. Finally, use objective tests of skill and knowledge where practical. Here's a couple more tips. First, make sure you give the candidates a chance to talk during the interview. Open-ended questions can help to solicit more information than yes/no questions. If you do call references, one other good strategy is to describe the job and ask if you think the candidate's skills would be a good fit for the position. This can help to focus your discussion on the candidate's skills rather than on their personality. So you've selected a candidate. Now you need to get them on board. Helping new employees feel welcome and confident in their jobs will make a big difference in performance and retention. The patterns that are established early are hard to break, for good or bad. The offer letter provides the employee with written information about their specific job, pay rate, and other critical information. In New York, legal requirements for job and pay notification can be covered by providing new employees with a formal pay rate and work agreement form, which is also known as Form LS-309. The chart on this slide covers some of the key questions that new employees tend to have about their jobs. Time spent orienting new staff will pay off later. Effective managers help employees feel empowered to ask questions and give them the tools they need to solve problems. This requires making time. Most new workers are reluctant to ask too many questions for fear they'll look stupid. By providing employees with an orientation, you can help mitigate this issue. This is a suggested outline for a new worker orientation schedule. Which moves us into training. Your goal with training is to ensure that each employee can do his or her job at the earliest possible time. The 4 steps of training are all critically important, but often we stop at step 2, showing the task, and don't give a worker a chance to try the new task and receive timely support with the new task. Sometimes a worker will spin their wheels because when they try to do this skill that they've learned, they forget an important step, but they're embarrassed to ask for help. This is why checking in frequently is very important. Having standard operating procedures can really help to streamline training and orienting new staff, and for critical areas can help reduce errors and accidents. Although SOP development could be its own program, here are some key points. First, make the SOP understandable and relevant to users. Second, make sure you highlight and focus on the key decision points. And finally, SOPs are not one-size-fits-all. Fit the delivery to the message. Will a graphic work, or do you need a video? If you implement many of these practices this year, you should be off to a great start. I'd like to thank our funder for the webinar and video development, and my project team who helped put the initial materials together. And thank you for listening.